You're listening to the Artekdotes podcast.
Mic check, mic check. Okay, we're good. Naimbag nga aldaw kinyayo. Kapimans ka Artekdotes kan kakabshat or Heartex. Welcome to the first official podcast of the Artekdotes, and we will be calling this as the Pobcast. Apay nga the Pobcast because of the Pimans of Baguio podcast or the POB cast. Iso nga the Pobcast. Nagadong explanation niya. So welcome. Thank you if you're still listening. So this series of podcasts will be one of the newest content that you will be seeing on the Artekdotes page starting this month of June. So hopefully aduti i-discuss tayo nga topics dito yung podcast because the content of the podcast that I want are the stories, the updated stories nga hanlaonay nga masapol aramidan ti atidog nga story nga babasaan. So Dix la da duma clarifications lang from the senders. So and I want to discuss it here using the podcast, using this podcast. So this is Admin RDR, the content creator and founder of the Artekdote and Pimans of Baguio speaking. So hanlang ka Shakti ag podcast into, so this will also be done some of the podcasts will be also done by the formulator King CNH no adaptment lang ti oras dan. So I am planning to set up a real podcast studio dito yung balay. Garod medyo ada financial constraints niya, so hopefully maka-invest tayo ti mayat nga mic kas kada camera for this because I want this to because kahit kukot dito di content ija YouTube ti the Artekdote. So don't also forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Okay, so so kahit kumat lang ma-discuss dito podcast tayo kat tagay napudot nga issue dito yung city or di Cordillera nga mayat nga pagtungtungan. So I will hopefully by that time nga makaaramid tayo ti mayat nga studio kat maka-invite tayo matlang ti guests tayo, avid readers and some influential people nga mabalin tayo nga ma-interview, and as well as the senders nga if they are willing to be identified, because most of our senders choose to be anonymous, and some actually dati do mga it's okay for them to be identified. So dagita tagi-interview tayo soon. So I hope that this project of the Artekdote will materialize. So I hope aduti agabang ti kastoy nga content tayo aside from reading stories tatno sa balimat. So the Artekdote kasi is well known because of our stories, because we are the first platform in Baguio and the Cordilleras to do this thing, sending of stories or real life stories. Some of my influences were Tagalahandula dahil sa memes, Kasing from Baguio dahil sa kanyang witty tweets, and as well as the Louisian Files nga dito got more on confessions as a student, the Louisian Files. So dito naaramid ko dito the Pimans of Baguio na theme to the Artekdote when it comes to the story segment to the Artekdote. Eventually nag-click iso na di 2019. So I started the Artekdote August 2018. Ti karga na lang idikat memes kas kada my own literary pieces nga dati Ilocano na, and eventually idi February kat napanunot ko nga why not nga agi-share man ti tao ti stories ng real life, and they will be sending it to the Artekdote. So in try ko di on the beginning weeks dati may sa nga ag-send ti may sa aldaw edi umadadon ti makapansin di na rami di page tayo nya kat there are already 5 stories that I received. I am starting to receive 5 stories a day until I receive 20 stories a day. Idihan kon kaya ti 50 stories a day. I asked a help from a colleague from work ni H because she also wanted to be an admin, and duwa kami nga admin imadumanan ti agisisend ti story gapo ti trending stories niya. So as people send stories until di nakita mi kat I counted it manually nga at least 400 stories na mi nga nabasa ni admin H. So that was the time that I already inala ko ni King C ni Formulator. So how did they become admins niya, ni King C and Formulator? So King C was one of the first readers to send his own story. So nag-trending this story na. This was about 500 peso from his older cousin sa. Tapos ni Formulator, his love story that turned out to be tragic, or it was a not so happy ending story nga nag-trending lang the Subil serye or the mauding words na. So that was from the Formulator. And why is his nickname the Formulator? Gapo jay nag-trending ay narabid ng story nga the formula. Diay. So diay the story behind so naging admins dito ni H ni King C ni Formulator. So it was the four of us who screen your stories on our inbox, and I also have the admins of the Pimans of Baguio, admin Genevieve, admin Geneva, the twins, admin Melchor, admin Tazu, the admin Jarlo, and the Earl Cesar, the moderators, the GSO, the Earl John Natividad. So tagita ti kakaduwak mat nga agman si J Pimans of Baguio nga group. I created that group purely for stories madlang. So the content the major content the group nga Pimans of Baguio kat stories madlang coming from our readers. So they can send it using their account or their dummy accounts, or they can send it through the Pimans Baguio account tapos i-post ti Pimans Baguio. So aside from that, kahit kung i-clarify kinyayo niya ang ijagaming inbox mi ti the Artekdote ado ti makon-confuse nga hello mga ka-AOL. So the Artex of Lacandula is not part of the Artekdote and Pimans of Baguio, although the Artex of Lacandula is a group by taga Lacandula. So agaamo kami matlang, tagakadwa kami matlang dagita da taga Lacandula. Sometimes we hang out, we talk about the stories nga agpapada nga may send di POB kan di AOL. So diay. So the Artekdote and taga Lacandula ti pages dito Baguio and Cordilleras nga share these stories. So to avoid confusion, if to other readers out here or to our listeners right now, sabali nga group the Artex of Lacandula. So that is not controlled by the Artekdote. That is owned by taga Lacandula. So tibagi ti Artekdote kat J Pimans of Baguio. No, so diay. So aside from that, I also would want to share to you nga how did I create Pimans of Baguio. I was inspired from the group from the page nga Humans of New York. I guess you've heard this one, Humans of New York. Dito kat sa page nga apanda they will photograph a person in New York tapos together with his story kat nakakabilit photo na. So kasi tinaramid ko mat kat mas simple slag send ka lang ti story together with a picture that is connected to the story that you want to send. So we do not encourage shout outs or lagay lang para lang ti may nga tao niya na story. So mas better kasi send mo na lang di tao nga kahit mo nga pakasendan no kasjay. So up to this point we prefer posting stories that might nga pagkatawaan or pagsangitan or dagjay maadal tayo nga lesson. So dagjay. So since starting this page, we were able to reconnect bridges, no, such as the Unknown Child, Kim and Brent of the My Child is Longing for His Father na story niya. So dagita nag-trending. And then manati funny nga stories such as the short text word about drunk stories dagita. So there are a lot of different stories na makita di Artekdote na is nag-enjoy tita tao because people of all walks of life can relate. Lalo dagiti kwatayo kailyon tayo nga Cordillerans kanan as well as dagito Ilocano nga magbasbasa. So ti-target ti Artekdote nga audience talaga kat dito Cordilleras and Region 1 and 2. So dagito Ilocandias and Cordilleras. Tapos like so gamitin naging trademark ti page tayo. So that's all. See you on the next podcast. So hopefully ano dati kayo nga mainayon nga recommendations or comments, kat feel free to drop it on the comments section. No pwede kayo nga mangag dito podcast series tayo niya. So again, this is Admin RDR, the content creator and founder of the Artekdote and Pimans of Baguio, now signing out. Salamat. And again, welcome to the podcast or the POB cast. Thank you.